Dr. Isuwa Dogo joins us as a member of the People's Democratic Party and a political scientist. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, thank you.
Well, we've been following this, and I'm quite sure you too, as a political scientist and a politician, this means a lot to you.
Yes, it does.
Some form of good for our democracy?
No, not at all.
I'm sure Nigerians will be surprised to hear this from you. For so many other people, a couple of other people that we've spoken to.
They shouldn't be surprised. They shouldn't be surprised because I'm saying not at all, not on the basis that, look, anybody who is found corrupt or has done anything wrong, the due process of law should not be followed. But it's the process.
Let's talk about the process.
Yeah. I will start by saying that I believe sincerely that corruption at all levels, from the very lowest, from the granite seller to the presidency, I abhor it, I detest it, and I think if we find a way of eliminating it, we should do so in all ramifications. But the process in which it's being taken can never do anything of that nature. Fighting corruption is not an issue of talking. It's not an issue of taking one person. It's not an issue of doing what is happening now. The only person that I've heard that came near a very excellent approach is somebody who talked on the processes on this very forum, I think 2 days ago, when he said that, look, there should be a plan. What is the plan of fighting corruption? You should have one, the plan of fighting different categories, and you set it out. 2, there is what you call mental corruption. Mental corruption is probably the worst form of corruption, in the sense that, look, when you are mentally derailed or corrupt, you are capable of doing anything, including murder, not only the issue of financial, not immorality, not physical and anything. You are capable of doing everything. So there is that aspect. So how do we fight corruption? We have said times without number that, look, we have to have a system. It's a systemic change. Do you see it? You need a systemic change. That system will make it impossible for a person to steal, even in the future. When the body language tells people now that, look, you can't do anything, when the body goes, what happens to the spirit? It is gone. Do you see it? But when there is a system, it will stand the test of times. That is what the developed world has achieved and has made it very difficult. Not that it doesn't exist, but it has made it very difficult and reduced it to the barest minimum. Because if you do it, even 50 years down the line, you are likely going to be found out. And that is why those who evade taxes, in due course, they are found out. Because there is a system. So we thought, and I believe sincerely, that the APC was coming in and will set an agenda of fighting corruption right from the grassroots level. That is to say, look, as an adult, those who are already old, their mental ability has already been twisted. Can you brainwash them positively to believe that, look, corruption is simply evil? From the children, is it possible to come up with modalities, to say that, look, a child in the nursery school, when a child, as we were taught from primary school, I didn't go to nursery school, they taught us, in my religion, as a Christian, they made us to memorize Deuteronomy chapter 20, that is the 10 Commandments, and part of it is, thou shalt not steal. And they drummed that into my ear several times. They made us to memorize Matthew 5. That is the Beatitudes. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. They made us to understand that, look, Matthew 7:7, which talks about seek, knock, and this, it means you have to work hard. It means you have to depend on God through prayer. It means you cannot steal even your father's thing. They will say, look, if you want your dad to give you something, don't steal it. Ask him. He is not likely going to deny you. And the Bible is there. The Holy Quran also has all these things. Can we have a program of going back to the drawing board and start teaching our young ones from primary school? Have we forgotten that, look, the so-called our forefathers that we relish so much, who did all sort of things like the Sedona, the Tafa Balewa, Zeke, Awo, that they don't even teach their history and their values? Have we forgotten that Gawan, who was head of state for over 9 years, who I regard as the only living legend, did not even have a bungalow in his village? And things like that.
If I may come here, Dr. Dogo. You talked about how you were taught growing up the bulk of the people who are having to answer questions now probably didn't go through nursery school like you, probably went through primary school, and they were taught with the Quran and the Bible, as you said, these principles. And right now, there are many who will say they are the ones out there having to answer questions.
I have already said that. I've already said the older ones who became corrupted when corruption was institutionalized should be positively brainwashed to see the evil of corruption.
Who institutionalized corruption?
Of course, you know, I don't have to start telling you who did it. But whoever did it, but can we change it? The issue is that can we change it using the apparatus of government to change it?
Because of time, I want us to hit it on the head and come to the discussion, because we've been asking a couple of questions, looking at the law, looking at timing, looking at the perception of so many other Nigerians out there on the street. They try to marry timing with what exactly is happening, and based on that, some of them are also on the same page with the Senate President, saying this has a coloration of victimization based on the timing. And we also asked Mr. Ogala, why can't or why didn't the CCB at that point in time of the alleged anticipatory declaration verify before you put that in the file of that particular individual? So putting all of this in the mix, do you think there is a disconnect somewhere?
I feel so that there is a disconnect somewhere, and I believe, in my view, that look, the APC is in the process of what you'll call the committing political harakiri and or suicide, because I cannot honestly remove Saraki's travels from political intrigues within the APC. Anybody who says that is being economical with the truth, because it is not going to be a coincidence. How managed, it will be coincidence about his wife. It will be coincidence about him. It will be coincidence of, and the processes. Look, these are people that some people fabricated, so to say, and said that, look, they changed the rules of the Senate for him to emerge, and this and that and all whatnot. And in the first place, the question I want to ask, who is the angel that will be there and will do better than Saraki if they regard Saraki as a sinner or a devil? Who is the angel that is there? And let me ask again, why do you think that he will be anti-government when he has not even been tested? Some people that you think are your enemies may turn out to be your best friends. And in fact, if you are a good leader, you can simply say, I can walk with and through the devil. That is to say, no matter how terrible the person might be, if you are deft in what you are doing, you can walk with that person and convert and make that person what you want him to be.
Yeah, but by this
and the issue is that, look, we are looking at Nigeria. Are we moving forward? The answer is no. Why are we not moving forward? Because the APC is inside committing political suicide. We don't want that. As a PDP member, I want the APC to succeed. I want the president to succeed, because when we come back 2019, we should do better and we wouldn't have this. And if it's the APC that goes on 2019, they should exceed what Buhari is doing. So the issue of trying to do all these things and making Nigeria not to move forward is disturbing to me. And if the APC doesn't have the technocrats, the brains that will formulate and analyze and articulate things that they should do, they should come. I'll do it for them free. And there are many of us in the PDP who are ready to do it for them free. If we did not have the opportunity of doing it in the PDP, they can hire us.
Looking at
I don't want one kobo. I will pay for all the expenses.